Hey guys, it's Mike1013 for FlopTurnRiver. In this video I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different. I'm gonna go over a few hands and go over the decisions made in those hands. But I decided instead of using my own hands, I'd grab some hands that looked interesting from FlopTurnRiver's online database of hands. Now, because we're not going to have HUD stats or reads on any of the players since I don't know any of that information, I'm going to discuss the different decisions we could possibly make and against what type of opponents we're going to make those decisions. Okay, let's get started here. Our first hand happens at a 10 NL table. It folds around to the cutoff, who opens for 5 times the size of the blind, and it's on us in the button with ace-jack offsuit. And it looks like we don't have a full stack there. We have about 46 big blinds. Now, this is a spot where I think every pre-flop decision could be correct. If our opponent's a nit, if he's too tight, and if he's not opening as wide as he should in the cutoff, then we're likely behind his range and we should fold. If, on the other hand, he's tight but he folds to a lot of 3-bets, then we could turn our hand into a bluff and 3-bet him, expecting to get a lot of immediate folds. If his range is wide and we think we're ahead of it, we might call and try to play post-flop in position against him. If he's calling 3-bets really wide such that ace-jack is a favorite, or if he has leaks in 3-bet pots, we could certainly 3-bet. So every decision we could make is feasible depending upon our opponent's tendencies. Now let's see what Hero actually did. Hero 3-bet. 3-betting could be okay or it could be a leak, depending upon your opponent's tendencies. But what's almost certainly bad about this is the sizing of the 3-bet. I think that by making a 3-bet to 15 big blinds and only having 30 big blinds behind, Hero's pricing himself in to call facing a shove, which is pretty bad if this ace-jack 3-bet was a bluff. If you do think your opponent could get it in worse, and so you're going to call his shove, it's still good to make your bet a little bit smaller so that he might think he has fold equity and shoves wider. So here I think a 3-bet to maybe 110 or 120, 11 or 12 big blinds is much better. But let's see what actually happened in the hand. Okay, so the opponent called. So post-flop here, there's less than a pot-sized bet left behind. I think, again, had Hero made a smaller pre-flop 3-bet, there'd be a little bit more play in the stacks. Not a ton more, but Hero would have a few more options. As it is, villain checks, Hero shoves, and villain calls. And, it's pretty reasonable at that point, given how little there is left behind, for Hero to just shove here. And let's see the results. So villain flopped a set and Hero sucked out. Okay, moving on to the next hand. This next hand we have jacks at a 2 NL table. We're in the big blind and it limps around to us. Now, here I think we have only one play, and that's to raise. I think checking here is just ridiculous. We're facing 2 limpers. They're probably not the best players in the world. I think we're well ahead of both of their ranges. I think we have to raise it up here, probably to at least 6 big blinds or 12 cents, maybe even a little bit more. Let's see what Hero decided to do. Hero raised. Okay, that's good. And got a call. And now the flop comes. It's kind of wet. I think we're still well ahead of the range of this fish, and I'd go ahead and bet probably at least 20 cents into this 27 cent pot. Hero makes a bet of 14 cents. I think that's a little bit too small. I think fish like to call, and we should make them pay to call. Unless there's a specific read, like that this fish plays fit or fold or something on the flop. I think we want to try to get some value out of him. So the fish calls, and then we see a turn, and we hit a really good card for us. You shouldn't be afraid of the flush draw in this spot. Your opponent will have so many more cards in his range than just the flush draw. So I think, again, betting larger than what Hero did. Hero made a 36-cent bet. I think we could make it at least 40 cents, 45 cents here. And then our opponent calls, and the river comes to 7. I think we're still getting a ton of value. I think we should put our opponent in here. Let's see what Hero did. So Hero bets less than half the pot, and opponent raises, and Hero folds. Okay, this I think is a big mistake. I don't see how anybody could fold getting those odds. Let's look. Getting about better than 4-1 with the set against most likely a very bad player. I would have put him all in immediately. I would have bet the rest of his stack. I certainly wouldn't bet fold against him. I don't see how this could be right. You're ahead of a lot of things that he might have. Say he flopped 2 pair, 4-3. Or, he could have turned 2 pair. He could have just had ace king for all we know. He's a fish, or we think he's a fish. And against a reg, I don't think you could even fold, not getting such a good price. So I think this is a clear mistake on Hero's part. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all next week.